Hi everyone, it's Gary Nicholson here at the Mountain Weather Information Service. This is your planning outlook video on Friday the 3rd of August. Now a decent weekend on the way for many places, but a bit frustrating still in western Scotland where murky conditions will still come in from the Atlantic, and a rather changeable week ahead developing as the Atlantic winds do dominate and something fairly fresh and showery will be the common theme through midweek onwards. Here's the charts for the weekend then, and for Saturday we've got high pressure centred towards the southwest, the leftovers of old fronts still just drifting eastwards across the British Isles, and a rather murky start for some places, but that low cloud should lift and break up. For many, western Scotland might just struggle with always that airflow coming in from the Atlantic, and as a warm front moves in here, drizzly rain may just turn a bit more persistent later on. Otherwise essentially dry, chance of an isolated shower somewhere eastern parts of the Cairngorms and the borders, sunshine coming through a bit more readily across England and Wales. Now, a fairly sunny day for many on Sunday, but again it's western Scotland that will struggle, and here with fronts coming in, outbreaks of rain and drizzle tending to turn more persistent, particularly around Skye, Torridon, western hills in the West Highlands. Towards the central and eastern parts of the Highlands though, essentially a dry day, cloud breaks to higher tops, and for England and Wales, lots of warm sunshine. Light winds for many, but will strengthen around the Western Highlands. Into Monday, and slack high pressure influences the south of Britain, but a cold front will be drifting southwards. Some uncertainty how organised this is, essentially a zone of low cloud, some outbreaks of rain or drizzle, and the risk of some heavier bursts running along it at some point. Slightly fresher air trying to come in to northwest Scotland, but here I think we're stuck with low cloud across many hills, a few breaks developing, most of those toward the eastern side of the Highlands, and we could find that a lot of low cloud fills in again across the lakes and much of Wales. Confidence of detail becomes very low into midweek, but generally a slack trough of low pressure is trying to form across the British Isles. The main low seems to be centred towards the northwest. Something of a frontal system is drifting southeastwards. Along that, as it runs into humidity, could be a few heavy bursts of rain, possible thunderstorms locally, although very, very hit and miss, I would have thought. Low cloud and murk could be around some of the western coastal hills. Fresher air getting into Scotland, but a story of sunshine and showers, and maybe showers organising in some longer periods of rain around the Western Highlands, where winds will also be quite strong and gusty. And although detail is tricky, it looks as though a fairly changeable story is with us into midweek. A trough of low pressure, something of a front around, so areas of showers, some heavy bursts, possibly thundery in places, sunny spells trying to come through at times, so occasional brighter periods, but a little bit cooler than what we've been used to for many places. That fresh west to northwesterly flow is in, and I think that'll be the story for the rest of the week. And just looking at the bigger picture, the overall trends then for the rest of the week, not as optimistic as they once were, I suppose, for early August. We're back with a trough of lower pressure towards the north of Britain. The greener colours on the map just shows the lower temperatures in the middle layers of the atmosphere, and we're drawing in a cooler air mass from the northwest, and dare we say it, temperatures on the highest Scottish tops only a few degrees above freezing, I suspect, in the later part of the week, with a story of showers coming through. And just to run on as we go towards the end of the week, confidence fairly low. The idea seems to want to try and build higher pressure back towards us from the Azores, I think always with something of a westerly orientation to it now as we go towards the weekend and perhaps beyond. One or two of the computer models are a little bit more pessimistic, it has to be said. The story not absolutely set in stone between the various computations at this stage. There are some hints that it could be a much more unsettled spell as we just run through the weekend and beyond towards mid-August, before eventually we might try and get higher pressure building back in. So at the very least for now, we're into a more changeable scenario, and don't be surprised to find something a bit more unsettled in there over a good few days. So keep up to date with your local details every day at the Mountain Weather website, and we'll update this video again for you early in the new week. Thanks for watching, bye for now.